Are we looking at a new age of expansion for the United States and a revitalization of the Monroe Doctrine? I think so, and here's why. For the past few weeks, Trump has made comments that he wishes to add Greenland, currently owned by Denmark, to the United States. So, what is his reasons for it? So, one big reason is military, because we have an air base in Greenland. Also, US military personnel have been operating there since World War II. There's also economic interest to Greenland, such as the raw resources and the vital sea trade routes. Greenland's also located in the Western Hemisphere. Thus, it's closer to America and North America than it is to Denmark and Europe. Greenland's also a national interest due to its location within the Arctic Circle and allowing us to use that and claim the Arctic region. The incoming president has stated that Greenland is vital to U.S. national security and is part of U.S. interests. Even his own son, Donald Trump Jr., has flown to Greenland today, January 7th, to have a little rally and show interest of the American people to acquire and add the people of Greenland to the United States. America has tried to add Greenland in 1867, 1910, and 1946, as well as Trump's first attempt in 2019. While America has shown great interest in acquiring Greenland, the King of Denmark has already made a symbolic show that he's not willing to part with Greenland. So this may be a tough battle for Trump and the United States if we are truly serious in acquiring Greenland. The incoming president also has other interests in mind as well, and is not solely just focused on Greenland. He's also taking a look at our northern neighbor of Canada. So about a month ago, President Trump had Prime Minister Trudeau come to his estate in Mar-a-Lago for a dinner. During this dinner, they talked about the ongoing relationship of Canada and the United States, and most importantly, about trade. President Trump has made it very clear he is very unhappy with the trade deficit currently going on between Canada and the United States, and it has to be addressed. While during this discussion, he jokingly, more likely semi-jokingly, that with the deficit and how much resources we put into Canada, they should be part of the United States, so we don't have to worry about the trade deficit anymore. This sent alarm bells all across Canada and caused a literal crisis in Trudeau's government. Trudeau facing a total collapse of his government, support from his own party, and the challenging Conservatives gaining more and more momentum, and no hope in sight, Trudeau has announced that he's resigning. As right now, the Canadian economy is doing terribly right now, with a humongous financial crisis, a housing crisis, and a cost of living crisis. If you want my honest opinion about US and Canada joining, I don't think it's likely, though the memes have been very funny. And I do see the great benefit of both our nations becoming one. As we are culturally similar, our economies rely on each other, and in the end, it would make things a lot simpler for both our nations to be one. But to my Canadian friends, it's worth considering. I know there are some policy differences and some cultural differences, but in the end, it would be a net benefit for both our nations to be one nation. But switching their perspective to a different country, a little bit more south, let's look at the Panama Canal. Out of all the territories we've discussed, this one is probably the most important to discuss out of all the other territories. The Panama Canal is of vital interest to the United States, as a large portion of our shipping travels through the Panama Canal. Because how much we ship through the Panama Canal is of vital interest on how much we are charged whenever we send a commercial or military ship through the canal. Trump claims that Panama Canal is ripping off Americans and charging way too high of a cost for transiting through the Panama Canal. He believes that it was not the right decision to transfer over control of Panama Canal to Panama, as Americans did build it around 100 years ago and costing us tens of thousands of lives to build it. With it being of vital importance to the United States Panama Canal, Trump believes either two options must be accomplished. Trump believes that either the rates of cost and usage of Panama Canal must be lowered for Americans, or America takes back the Panama Canal. Panama has already made comments that they have no interest in surrendering back the Panama Canal. And this is where things get a little bit more spicy. So as of this recording, on January 7th, Trump made comments today about military and economic coercion. Reporters asked the president if he would promise not to use military or economic coercion to push America's interests for the Panama Canal and Greenland. Trump resoundingly and very clearly stated no. He would not give comment on how he would negotiate for Greenland and Panama Canal, but he identified all options are basically on the table. I think out of all these territories, number one interest the United States to pursue is the Panama Canal. America, out of any of the territories mentioned, has the greatest claim to Panama Canal because we built it. Americans lost their lives building this, and we operated it for over 50 years. I think giving away Panama Canal was a critical mistake for the United States, and it's time to reclaim it because in the end, it is our property. When it comes to Greenland, I think it's a very interesting idea. At first, when I remember hearing about it in 2019, I didn't really think it was in America's interest, and I didn't know much about Greenland besides it's a European country very close to America. And because of the potential trade routes that could benefit Americans and whole continent of the North America, I think it's in America's interest. And we already have a military presence there. I would welcome Greenland into the United States as its own state or territory. I think it's up for Greenland to decide. I think a referendum should be held on Greenland to decide their fate. If they want to stay part of the Kingdom of Denmark, independence, or be part of the United States. Oregon did this long ago. Let them make their decision. Are they pro-Kingdom of Denmark, pro-independence, or are they pro-America? And as for Canada, I already talked about it, how it's kind of a fever dream, but it's still worth at least considering. I think it's a natural progression at some point. Perhaps maybe not now, but we may have to eventually consider a union between the United States and Canada. Now, this is all just a very quick summary. And if you want me to explore more of this topic, post down below, and we can make this a long format video and even a whole discussion on why Canada should be part of the United States, or why Greenland should be part of the United States, or why should we take back Panama Canal. And if you have topics that you want me to explore, post down below as well. And if you want to get involved with your local politics and national politics, join the Young Republicans of Oregon today. Until next time.